Namaste, Salam Bhagia. Welcome to Manthan with Saraswati, a space where stories inspire, cultures connect, and learning becomes meaningful. I am Saraswati Suresh, an educator with over 3 decades of experience, and this platform is my way of bringing together children, parents, teachers, and the wider community to reflect, grow, and celebrate life. Each episode is crafted to spark ideas, uplift your spirit, and encourage your next bold step. So, stay with us, like, subscribe, share, and join this journey of ideas, culture, and inspiration. Together, let's celebrate the voices shaping our future. Namaste and a very warm welcome to Manthan with Saraswati, Dare to Serve. The space where we pause, reflect, and learn together, and where conversation inspire mindful living. Today we talk something very close to a woman's heart: health, nourishment, and balance. And who better than Geeta Seth, a well-known nutritionist here in Jakarta, to guide us through this journey. Today I am delighted to introduce Geeta Seth, a qualified nutritionist and a dietitian with 22 years of experience, a two-time gold medalist in nutrition and a certified diabetes educator. She specializes in helping people manage diabetes through personalized nutrition and sustainable life choices. She believes that health and beauty comes from within, and that starvation and generalized diet don't work long term, and that scientifically proven simple kitchen ingredients, when used wisely, can transform health. A former center head at VLCC Indore, an ex-diabetic professional at Choitram Hospitals, and Bravi Jaya Hospital, Ibud and Anak in Kemang, Jakarta. With wide international exposure, she actively leads nutrition charity work in Jakarta, along with Seema Lohia, Indorama, through Nourishing Indonesia, providing free, healthy meals to underprivileged. Before we begin, if you find this conversation interesting, meaningful, do take a moment to like and share the video with someone who may benefit. And subscribe to Manthan with Saraswati at Sarsur67 for more inspiring and insightful discussion. So now, without much further ado, let's begin the enriching conversation. Welcome, Geeta ji, to Manthan with Saraswati.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Saraswati. Pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Geeta ji, and I'm really honored, and I feel very much pleased that I'm here sitting with you and we are doing this together.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for it. Geeta ji, as we are focusing today on women's health,
Yes.
right? In this fast-paced life, women juggle with so many chores or so many different roles they play at home, at office, and as a caregiver, and they have so many, they often forget themselves. And they are totally dedicated to whatever they are doing, whatever service they are providing.
Yes.
So, what does eating right truly mean for women who is always on the go?
So, frankly, a woman should be celebrated more than we know about it.
Okay.
Why? Because she takes so many places, every place she can fit in. Like in a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
Anything which is missing, a woman will fit. So that's the great thing about a woman. And this fast pace, the woman wants to be at the best in everything, whether it is looking after the family or a profession or anything else. During this time, she sometimes, although today's woman is now more conscious than our parents and our grandparents, she is.
Yeah.
But don't forget that our grandparents and parents had much better food. They could live on more fresh food without any mixings. So, but today's woman is definitely a busy woman is less able to take care of her actual needs. And once you proceed 50 plus, then the woman realizes, because then the health of the woman tells herself that where did she go wrong, what happens to her bones, what happened to her muscles, why she is sagging. So it's very, very important for a woman to look after her own self health wise.
Okay, I think that's a good start. So on the whole, woman has to take care of her health, not just in her prime, but also after 40 when...
Definitely, because the farther she goes, the more she's, she's used herself, her own resources, body resources, to look after everything. So she needs to, now we have to concentrate on this, that she needs to look after herself first.
Right.
That's very important.
Okay. Geeta ji, every week, if you look into the magazine or look into the news or look into those tidbits of every day, every week, there is a new diet trend. So it could be low carb, they say keto, intermittent fasting, and it can get very confusing even for a well-informed reader if you're not a nutritionist, right? So my question would be like, there is so much online noise about diets. So how important is breakfast really for a woman who tend to skip it up during the busy mornings?
Generally, in our Indian households and otherwise also, generally what happens that lunch and dinner is more emphasized upon. Breakfast is not emphasized upon, especially for women themselves. But tell me, while you have fasted the whole night, after the body is already going low sugars into hypoglycemic
state
situation, how would the breakfast, how can you ever skip the breakfast? When we take the breakfast, some people have tea with their breakfast. That is perfectly okay. You need to eat enough to run the body the whole day. First thing, if you don't do that, the first thing is the metabolism is going to be slow down, and then your obesity chances will increase, because the right nutrients at the right time of the day, if they are not ingested, it doesn't work at all. For example, I would like give you an example. There should be good protein, there should be good calcium, and some iron rich foods in your morning breakfast. Would you like me to give you an example?
Of course, sure. We would. Oh, yeah. It will be benefiting our viewers. So please go ahead.
So when you start your day, it should be gut healthy. So a combination of pre and probiotic is a great combination to start with your breakfast. So now what is a pro and prebiotic in the breakfast? The gut friendly bacteria. First we put them in our body, they grow, and then we give them food. So a good combination will be curd and sweet potato mixed together.
Okay.
So the
simple
curd,
choice,
the curd is the bacteria which goes inside the body. Now the food they want is the sweet potato.
Yeah.
So a simple start can be great. This curd already has calcium and protein. Your thing is done. If a woman is busy, if she is working, then this is the good way to start. We can have many more examples, but one must do something like that.
Okay. Thank you, Geeta ji, for that amazing simple tip of curd and sweet potato.
It is.
I'm sure the ladies who are so busy, tied up from morning till evening, they can at least take this and, they can eat it on the way, or can just mash it up and,
just you don't have to cook it.
Yeah, you don't have to cook it. Yeah. So that's a beautiful one. Thank you for that. Geeta ji, now when we are talking about, these fasting, we can talk about that people also talk about protein and fiber a lot.
Yes.
Right? Not just for fitness. Now it's not just for fitness, but it's also for everyday energy and everyday gut health. So, like my son, he does high rocks, he's done high rocks, he just marathon, and he's just, like, he's a protein, he lives on protein, he feels that protein has to be a part of everything, because he works out, I mean, see, fair enough.
Sure.
But my question is, protein and fiber, how important are they for women, and what are some easy way to include them in meal? But along with that, I would really be happy if you can share a few tips for vegetarian friends who will be interested in taking proteins, because people feel that vegetarians don't get that much of proteins. I don't know whether it's a myth, if you can bust it, or else your advice would be very, very appreciated.
Yeah, sure. So remember one thing, our body runs on protein. the whole muscle mass in our body definitely requires protein. If you say hormones, what are they made up of? Protein.
Protein. Okay.
So everything requires a good amount of protein. Now, if you tell me how much is your protein requirement. So, for example, somebody's weight is 70 kilos. That means that person requires 70 grams of protein. Who does that? I think nobody takes 70 grams of protein. If your son you're talking about it, he might definitely use 1.5 or 2 gram per kg body weight. That is high protein. We all don't do that. We all don't do that. What we do is we might take a extra cup of lentil or we might take little more extra tofu, but that is not the requirement we have to look into. We actually require a very high amount of protein. For that, I have done a very simple tip. Just powder all your dry fruits. For example, pistachios, almonds, few cashews also. Very important for protein is flax seeds and sesame seeds. Make a powder out of it. Have 2 to 3 teaspoons along with your morning drink or curd or milk, whatever you are taking. So your protein requirement starts like that.
Okay.
Now remember one thing, if the body is going on with the protein, yes, it's very good. But now, how that protein goes down till it ends its journey as poop. Without fiber, it cannot.
Of
it
course.
cannot.
Yes.
So fiber is equally required. Fiber is equally required if you want to run your body well. So in that case, when you talk about fiber, it comes to simple vegetables and fruits. You can use anything which is boiled in the morning, in the afternoon. The fiber has to be cooked in the form of vegetables and salad if it's too much. Because if too much of raw fiber is going to give you gases. So we use lots of cooked meals. We can have fruits and vegetables for sure. Other than that, we can have a lot of things than that.
Thank you so much, Geeta ji,
Yeah, sure.
for that additional tip and for telling us that how much of protein should a woman consume in a day. Geeta ji, we know so many women, young and not so young, and I speak to them and they often mention fatigue, bloating and mood swings. So, because many of us face this kind of an issue, somebody talk even about hormonal imbalance. So, how much of these can be improved through food? And what are the signs that we should not ignore?
Okay. So, let me start with the first thing. Our body requires oxygen all the time. We cannot live without it.
True.
Do you know how does the oxygen get transported in the whole body?
Yes, blood.
It's through blood, right? From the hemoglobin. So, the higher the hemoglobin, the more oxygen supply to the body. The lower the hemoglobin, the lesser supply and all the parts of the body are then fatigued. You understand? So, suppose somebody has only 10 hemoglobin. That means everywhere the oxygen is going because it has to. It has to go for the survival of the body. But it is going less. So, that all particular areas are going to be fatigued and finally the woman will feel, oh, I'm so tired. I do this work and within minutes I'm tired. They even call it brain fog. Why? Because the brain cannot live without oxygen. The requirement of brain is glucose and oxygen. So, if your hemoglobin is not enough, remember one thing, you will not pass in great marks in whatever field you are doing in your body. So, the first thing the woman should get her hemoglobin checked. Now, you have to eat high iron foods along with vitamin C. We all know that you should have a small katori of dal with lemon squeezed on it. But how many, how much? How many are you going to eat? 4 katoris? Are you going to eat a lot of lemon? That is not possible every day.
True.
So, what we do is, we take the beetroot which is full of iron. Now, to digest that iron, we need vitamin C. We add amla. So, if you ask me, my everyday breakfast is beetroot juice along with 4-5 amlas. When the amla season is not there, then you can take oranges, then you can take lemon. But because the beetroot has a very pungent kind of a taste, then we like to add half apple.
Okay.
or any other fruit. If a woman says that I'm going to have this glass every day, forget what I'm eating or not, she is going to survive great. And then the brain fog will go away, the fatigue will go away. Secondly, now do you know how many human cells we have?
Yeah.
Whatever we have in trillions, that much gut bacteria stays in our intestine.
Oh, yeah.
In our intestine, so many good gut bacteria we require. So what happens? There is something which is called the gut-brain axis. In that, what happens? If the good gut bacteria is going on, they are getting good food, then they send a message to the brain that we are happy. The hormone, the oxytocin, where is it produced? Do you know? Gut. It's not in the brain. It gives a signal to the brain, and the brain then feels very happy.
Okay.
For example, I'm very busy eating junk food. I'm not eating anything fresh. Like the pro and prebiotic, I'm not taking anything. What will happen? The bad bacteria will get developed.
Okay, yeah.
And the byproduct of that, the bad bacteria byproduct of that is going to directly affect the brain. We have got live examples of our clients who are generally on junk food or roadside food, or they do not cook at home. Believe me, their mood is always low. And the moment we tell them to stick to some home foods, within a week we see the difference.
Okay.
So if you want to feel high about yourself, if you don't want to feel low, then remember a prebiotic, a probiotic is very important. Do you know we Indian households, we make beetroot kanji? Do you know about it?
Yes, yes. During Holi.
That is
it's important
a
during Holi
great
also.
thing. If you get it made and you have a half a glass every day, you have done it. If you are taking curd 2 or 3 times a day, maybe in lesser quantities, you have done it. If you are regularly taking your pickles, you have done it. And if you are taking the idli and other fermented food, you are done with your great health.
Okay.
If you take care of your hemoglobin and eat these foods, you are done. Then you don't have to worry about, have I not eaten this, have I not eaten that, because this is the base. This is the base. You should not forget how much ever busy you are. Like women over 55, 60, we give them yogurt, but along with the sesame seed powder, because they are highest in calcium.
Okay.
We are also worried about our bones, osteopenia, osteoporosis on the way, or the weaker bones, they give us this problem. So what a simple tip, a small katori of curd along with one just spoon of sesame seeds, and tell me what else you want. You want to make more antioxidants in your body? Okay, then add 1 teaspoon of moringa leaf powder also.
Wow.
How easy is that? If you are not a diabetic, you can add little sugar for the taste or some honey to just make it more compatible to your tongue. Yeah. So follow these small tips. I am not telling you to have half a kg of spinach every day, half a kg of green vegetables every day, because it is not possible. It is not practical. So these small tips, they work wonders. And when the gut is good, when the gut and skin, the gut and brain, these axes, when they work well, then you are going to have a flawless skin and a great brain, and you will be called very intelligent, believe me. Believe me.
So I would like to tell the viewers on Manthan with Saraswati that if you want to be called as a, what was the word you used? As a brain full of, thinking very quickly and quick action.
Then you have to keep your gut clean.
Then you have to keep your gut clean, because there's a big connection between gut
there is a
and your
connection.
brain there. And you heard some simple tricks to make your day and to get over. Try these simple things out. That is coming from a nutritionist who believes in scientifically tested homemade home kitchen remedies. So I think we can all take this opportunity to learn and use them, and then get rid of or even lessen the amount of fatigue or the other complaints which you call bloating could be because of the gut. So let's do it, and let's give a thumbs up. If you have liked the conversation so far, please like and comment and tell us which of the tips of Geeta ji that you are going to follow. Thank you so much. So thank you so much for that wonderful, simple tips. And I think it's brilliant. And I'm in awe, like, this one, I didn't know this. Thank you so much, Geeta ji, for that enlightening amazing.
So if
Simple,
you want
simple.
to just multiply everything together, then in the glass of beetroot, add your moringa leaves, add your calcium in the form of sesame seeds. I do that. That one glass gives me everything.
That's
And it's such a
amazing.
simple thing, and I am not feeling
All in
full
one.
also. All in one.
All in one.
There are these ways.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Geetaji, for
Sure.
it once again. Beyond what we eat, there is also about how we feel about the food, right? And if there is emotional eating, guilt eating, and sometimes body image also tends to, make us eat more or less. So these affect women silently.
True.
So, from you, we would like to know that what's the right approach to weight management after 40? Before 40, people, go to gym, but as an we age, then, people start feeling like, okay, 40 के हो गए हैं, 40 हो गई है. अब, so, but I would like to know from you that what is the right approach to weight management after 40 without resorting to any extreme diets? And everybody will be knowing that you're against extreme diets.
Yes. So the kind of fat diets they are in, like for example, Mediterranean diet, it is nice. But how often can you keep eating the raw greens? It's not possible. Ultimately, you will end up into bloating and gases because it needs to be done. And if you're talking about the keto diet, how is it possible that you can take only protein and protein? How will it work? All these diets don't work. In a short term, people use everything and anything, but if you want to sustain for long, it cannot. For sustaining long, it should be a good breakfast. I'm not talking about the quantity. The quality of breakfast should be great, and you should have lunch and dinner maybe in small portions, since you are supposed, if somebody is really overweight, and of course it counts. It counts when you are obese. It works because it actually plays on the woman silently that I'm obese, I'm obese, I'm obese, and then she would avoid eating food. She would avoid eating food, but she would avoid all the beta carotenes, all these antioxidants. She's going to avoid that unknowingly. So we must stick to many important things. Fruits and nuts, seeds and nuts are very important. Fruits and nuts are very important. Green vegetables are important. Rest, the carbs, you can always lessen them. You can always lessen them because they actually provide energy.
Right.
So they can be limited as per your consumption. If somebody is really working hard, then you need more carbs. Otherwise, you can go them less. Just have to realize that how much you need and then eat that much less. That's fine. By the way, 40 is the new 20.
Yeah.
40 is the new 20.
40 is the new 20,
Yeah.
yes.
So
yes.
if you have seen many women who are even 60, 70 plus, but they don't look their age,
Yeah.
I salute them because they look after their health.
Health.
Looking after their health and then looking good is very great. But trying to look good and not looking after the health is finally going to fail. So it's very important to be inside. You should be content. Your body should be content. Your cells should be content.
Right.
Your bones should be content. Your muscles should be content. Then the outer beauty will automatically come.
Right.
Automatically come.
Right. So if you want to sum it up in 2 lines, the most important thing?
So breakfast is very important. A good amount of seeds and nuts are very important. And some people who love junk, we can mimic them at home by the healthy food.
Okay.
There are so many tricks now. There are so many reels you can see how to make the home pizzas and burgers.
Yeah.
We can mimic them with the healthy things.
Right.
Like recently we made burgers with green moong dal, the patties in the green moong dal. So what are you eating? You're eating a lot of protein.
Protein, yeah.
In the same burger, we put the nuts powder. So what are you getting? Omega-3s.
Omega-3s, yeah.
Definitely you're going to look young.
Definitely.
And you will feel you're eating the junk, but made at home.
Yeah. Follow it up for a beautiful, radiant skin. Geetaji, we spoke about gut health.
Yeah.
Right. We spoke about gut health and we said that it is connection between the brain and the body and the stomach. Brain.
Yes.
And mood and immunity and even skin depends upon your gut health.
100%.
How can women keep their gut happy? I would like to mention here about Dr. Pal, Pal Manikam. He is called the gut man of India and US. So if you can check out on his channel, he makes such amazing comedy metcoms for, regarding gut, and with his friend, imaginary friend called Sarvana Kumar. So if you want, you can check it out. So I'm coming back to the question: how can women keep their gut happy and healthy?
Okay, first thing is, how about constipation? Many of them deal with constipation. The first sign of bad gut is constipation. So now how to combat that? You're going to take, other medicines and all to make your stools better? No, not that way. Generally we take soup. Generally we take dal for dinner. I have recently just made this flaxseed soup.
Wow.
So you can use your onions.
Flaxseed soup.
Yes, the flax seeds. Yes. So you can put whatever in the soup you want to put. From your onions to dals to vegetables. Add 2 teaspoons of flaxseed to it. Now, when you churn the soup, you get the flaxseed, which is going to help you relieve all the constipation.
Wow.
It forms the gel-like structure and pushes it because it adds the fiber also. It's very, very helpful. If not, if you are slightly constipated, suit yourself with a lot of vegetables or vegetable soup. Make sure that you have a small soup before your dinner.
Okay.
There are households where they are very busy, but their instruction is there that, either the women of the house or the cook of the house, whoever, is putting 1 small cup of soup on the table before the dinner.
Okay.
What happens with that? Your tummy starts getting full, so you don't overeat. And with these vegetables and fibers, you will have no constipation. It is a way to have a happy gut.
Yeah.
So for a happy gut, first you should remove the constipation. Secondly, you have a lot of, as I told you, the pro and prebiotics. The stomach should be filled of that. So I already told you about this beetroot kanji, beetroot and carrot kanji.
Right.
The simplest is curd.
Yeah.
Simplest is curd. Every household has it and everybody uses. Use it for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, and a lot of fibrous food. From sweet potatoes to the raw banana which is cooked. Raw banana which is boiled like the potato and used is another excellent for resistant and resistant starch. The resistant starch in banana, it passes, it does not get digested, but it adds bulk to your stool. So it's really very important to have raw banana raita, what you call it, or a smoothie.
So raw banana
Should be boiled.
Should be
with
boiled.
the skin.
With the
skin. It should be boiled like with the skin, and then you take it out and then you make anything out of it. People even make parathas, people make sandwiches, you can make cutlets from it, you can make whatever you want, but it should be used in your household. Then you are going to have a happy gut, and the gut-brain axis is going to work wonderfully.
And all are going to become brilliant, and everybody is going to score
And everybody will be very happy because all
but-
happiness starts from gut.
Yeah.
This is what we used to think of, but lately the pro and prebiotic have taken a first seat these days, and this is correct. Initially, our grandparents used to have curd every day, only this they knew. They didn't know the role, but now the role is getting clearer and clearer, so we must have it.
No, I think, Geeta ji, you have given us a new insight about raw banana.
Yes.
Banana, of course, we all know that fruit's very good. Raw banana is famous. Even there's a variety which is made in South also. But
I
then
know.
this one, to take it in the form of, mix it in raita and make some cutlets out of it, make some
Sandwiches of
it.
And if you want to combat the taste of raw banana, in 4 or 5 raw bananas, add 1 potato boiled. So the taste will mimic the potato.
आज तो हमारे listeners की बल्ले बल्ले हो रही होगी. Sitting at home, they are getting such lovely, amazing tips and also the recipes.
You'll be very happy. You'll be very happy with the results.
So thank you very much, Geeta ji, and I'm sure viewers will be enjoying this conversation. Thank you so much for it. So moving on. So what happens is, if you want a woman to build a sustainable relationship lifelong relationship with food rather than just as treating it as a restriction or something like that. What do you think the mindset should be? Sometimes when somebody is obese and we are trying to lose weight, so then suddenly they'll say, oh, no, I'm not supposed to eat it, but they're craving for it. So just very short, in very, very simple words, what is that one attitude you must have towards food that you maintain a very healthy relationship with it?
So the first thing is body shaming is very, very common. The moment somebody is obese or something else, the person starts feeling guilty, especially in between, with the friends, and he's moving around because he's fat. I wish we could take that out from our, but never mind, forget that. Coming to this, have few sustainable things. Have a good protein, have good calcium. We have many recipes I can share with you, and just forget the rest, because over the time it is going to work on you.
Sure.
If you have stronger everything, you will grow better.
Yeah.
You will not grow older, but you will grow better.
I think that's a very, very touching point you have said.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure those who are going through it and who have asked me.
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you so much. Sure. And I hope they've got their answers. As women's body evolve and needs also keep increasing, from our 20s to menopause and beyond, it's a continuous dance between change and care. So many women experiencing fatigue and brain fog. You did relate this to hemoglobin.
Yes.
Could this be linked to any hidden deficiencies besides hemoglobin, Geeta ji?
Definitely, there is. One of the most common deficiency is vitamin D3.
Okay.
Now, every client, every patient who comes to me, I must test the person for vitamin D3 because that you can get only when you are under the sun for 2 or 3 hours, which is totally non-fashionable these days.
Yeah.
You don't want to go under the sun because of your color, because this, etc., etc. So the sun is like an enemy. Of course, it does not work all the time being under the sun. So we have to take vitamin D 100%. We have to get it checked. And a good vitamin D is between 60, 70, 80. The range starts from 30. Below, every person I have met has below 30. Even I was once upon a time mere 15. 15 is like that's very, very less, very, very less. So vitamin D deficiency. Another thing is vitamin B12. We emphasize upon vitamin B12, which comes a lot from the non-vegetarian food. For vegetarians, you have to take it from the seeds or you have to take the supplement. I think supplement is a good idea because these two deficiencies, the hidden deficiencies, make a difference. And if you are talking about women who are getting older, then they start having a lot of deficiencies in the body. So they must take a good moringa soup or a multivitamin as a supplement if they want to. They must take few things. They should understand that I require this, make a small list and then make just one soup out of it. It can be done. It can be done so easily. We can just go as per everybody because diet is not common. It is diet designing as per every person. Some people are very happy with yogurt in the night. Others, they get just the cold. There's no reason, but some are very, very comfortable. In the same way, other foods they are not happy with, they are happy with. So just once, get yourself diet personally designed as per you and be sustain that. It's very important to look after yourself, give time for yourself, spend little on yourself when it comes to food.
I think Geeta ji, you're explaining it so beautifully. Let it be regarding nutrition, let it be regarding gut, let it be regarding just what you recently mentioned about vitamins. Before we come to an end of the program with my last question, my one important question which I would like to take your advice so that it suits up women who are going to listen to us will be that what will be your 3 non-negotiable nutritional habit? I'm talking about minimum three non-negotiable nutritional habits every woman should adopt, no matter how busy she is.
The first one is the most simple and the most important, drinking enough water.
drinking enough water.
No metabolism will work well without water. Nothing in body is going to work. I want to tell you that as much as we emphasize upon water, it is still more important than how much we emphasize. Because if the water will not be there in the body, every body function requires water to transmit. Even from making to hormones to everything, water is very important.
Right.
So please see to it that you take enough water. That is very important. Second important thing is again your hemoglobin.
Yes.
If you don't keep it high, you are going to eat the best of the food, but if your hemoglobin is low, you are going to sit fatigued. How will it work?
Right.
But do you see some people are very quick? You must check their hemoglobin.
Okay.
It should be really high. So if nothing, you have anything which is, for example, the spinach. Spinach along with your lemon. Or another thing is, you just take a lemon water along with your lunch.
Okay.
So because there is
the plain lemon water?
The plain lemon water. Why?
Okay.
There tends to be some iron food. Of course, you are taking vegetables and dals and whatever.
Get absorbed better.
So the best is have a small glass. Like for small children who are who have low hemoglobin, we give them the sweet lemon water.
Okay.
You take this non-sweet one. You have that compulsory so that your hemoglobin is enough.
And
the third non-negotiable would be a good protein.
Okay.
Because have you decided to sag before age? No, none of us. We go for so many beauty treatments and the skin is sagging because there is no enough protein.
Okay.
So whatever the salons do the best for you, but they cannot ingest the protein in your body. That you have to do. So your one meal should be high protein. For example, you are eating non-veg. For example, you are eating sprouts. For example, you are eating the tofu or the paneer, whatever is available. They should be in a good portion size. The portion size should be good enough so that you get high protein. These three things are very, very important. Very important.
Okay, if you can lightly touch upon hormonal imbalance and the diet, what is the main important?
Okay, so how oxygen is carried to all parts of our blood. In the same way, our glands which produce hormones, they carry the hormones to the whole body, and to carry them, you should have a good, a hormonal requirement which is fulfilled by the body. What are the hormones made up of? They are made up of two things, proteins and fats. So good fats are although if the requirement is low, we don't directly communicate with the requirement for the hormones. But for hormonal imbalance, you should have, for the good balance, you should have enough protein and eat good fats. Now, what are the good fats? They can be avocados, it can be some ghee, it can be your fish, it can be your non-veg, which has little those good fats. And avocados are very, very famous.
Right.
But anyway, they are not available everywhere. So you should have these medium chain triglycerides. MCT we call it.
Medium chain.
That is in coconut oil and which is in ghee.
Okay.
I would prefer that you should cook at least one meal out of them.
Okay.
So that you get the good fats in your body. Do you know that our cell is made up of cell membrane?
Yeah.
What is the cell membrane? It is only the fats. If you don't have enough good fats, the cell membrane is going to be weak. Then you will say, oh, I am dealing with low immunity. It's not low immunity. It is not that you have not consumed the good fats. And we are always, very scared of, oh, this is very fattening, that is very fattening, without thinking which is good fat, which is bad fat. So I am not talking about vegetable oils, where you fry and you cook. Of course, they change into like this. But this MCT is, it directly becomes a powerhouse of energy. It does not store in your body.
Right, I get it.
So these are the few things. If you ask me, there are not 3, I would say 30.
No, 3 is enough. Because,
I understand.
I really want at least these 3 simple main things can be done so that the woman consume at least these 3 and make themselves more energetic and more like.
Yes. Right? How we look for antioxidants? So there is only one tree which is full of antioxidants, that is the moringa. Its leaves, its flowers and its stems, it's excellent. Use them, the fruit also, the bee, use them for everything and you are going to have a bout of antioxidants.
My viewers are going to be mesmerized by what you're saying. So one last question before we finish, Geeta ji, that you have a radiant skin. You look so beautiful. So I know that every woman we go through different life stages, and we have, and because you're a nutritionist, you have you have grown so gracefully. So, what's your golden rule for lifelong wellness? One golden rule. Do we have any one golden rule?
I have never used any artificial makeup in my life.
That's
Never. For my wedding also we did not.
okay.
I told the salon I won't be doing it because I believe in goodness. So everything should be eaten fresh.
Okay.
The junk food, the packed food, which will not give, which shows on the label it gives you goodness, but it doesn't give you anything.
Okay.
Eat anything and everything which is fresh from the house, and nothing will go wrong with you. Nothing will go wrong.
So that's one golden rule for
Anything
lifelong
from
wellness.
your kitchen directly, from your dining table directly, not from the market, is the key role.
I
Believe
really
me.
want you to look into the camera and tell them.
Okay. So now you should eat only fresh foods, only from your kitchen, only from your home dining table, instead of buying everything. If you like to buy some outside food and you love the taste, mimic them at home. What is the big deal? You can always do that. Mimic that at home and have the best foods, which is absolutely fresh. Believe me, friends, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. You'll be very happy only with that.
Yeah. So, as we come to the end of today's conversation, I hope this discussion has gently reminded you taking care of your health is not selfish, it is essential. So, thank you, Geeta ji,
Thank you.
for sharing your wisdom, clarity, and compassion, and showing us that nourishment is not about trends or perfection, but about understanding, balance, and self respect. And I'm so happy that you have shared so many other tips to make simple things at home to keep us healthy. To everyone watching and listening, if even one insight from today has inspired you to make a kind choice for your body, then this conversation has truly served its purpose. If you found this episode interesting or meaningful, do take a moment to like, share, because only when you share does the knowledge grow with someone who may benefit, and subscribe to Manthan with Saraswati at Saraswati67 for more conversation that nurture the mind, body, and the soul. Until we meet again, it's Manthan with Saraswati and Saraswati Suresh saying bye-bye. See you again. And thank you once again
Thank you.
so much, Geeta ji, for
Thank
that
you.
lovely, amazing episode.
So the new fashion is home food.
Home food. Yeah.
That is the new fashion.
The new fashion is
home food.
Thank you.
If you want somebody to feel great, tell them you are eating home. They will already feel great about you.